video to make sure that all of you are prepared and ready for exam day. Your exam is on Monday, and it is at 2 p.m. But you want to make sure that you are logged in. Okay, so exam. Okay, it's Monday the 18th at 2 p.m. Okay, you will be logging in. You will be getting, you should get, let's see, you're going to log in around 1:30. Okay, so that if there's any issues or any problems, you are already prepared. Second thing is you either are going to get an email. Okay, and I've had some kids freak out and have some issues with email because they put the wrong email in, or the email didn't come, or they couldn't open documents or whatever. Okay, so email, or you go to College Board. Okay, and all of you have gone to College Board and done questions on AP Classroom. All right, so AP Classroom is where you will go. But be there and ready to log in at 1:30. Now, some of you will notice that you have to kind of keep refreshing and those kind of things. That's fine. There's a lot of people logging in, but you keep refreshing and you keep making sure that it accepts your login credentials. Okay, now, prior to the test, you need to know your College Board ID number. If you do not know it, you text me. I will give you that number, because that number has to be on your sheet, on your answer form when you submit your answers. Okay, so we're going to talk about how you prepare for that in just a minute, but you have to know your number. All right, and we'll log into somebody's account real quick and show you how I want it set up. All right, so you're going to get 2 questions, and you're going to answer the questions on a Google Doc or on a some sort of like Microsoft Word or whatever, and then you're going to type in your answer, and you're going to copy and paste. If you are writing it out, then you're going to have to take a picture of your answer and download it. This has been an issue, okay? This has been a problem for a lot of kids because the pictures don't download fast enough. So if you're going to do that, you need to be prepared to be done with your answer within a few minutes. Okay, so I'm going to log in as Will. All right, so you need to be prepared to take your picture and load it so that you're going to have less time to answer your question. All right, so you are going to have to go to Google Docs, and that's the preferred spot because it saves your work. So if something was to happen, you would already be taken care of and it would save everything. All right, so what you're going to do is you need to already have 2 completely different documents created, okay? So this is going to be one, so you're going to name it question 1, and then you're going to put your ID number. And then the second document is going to be, here I'll put a question, is going to be question 2, and then your ID number. And that's what it'll be called, because that is what needs to be at the heading of each of your questions. So you want to go ahead and have it already created so that when it's time to start, you can go ahead and click on that document and get started. All right, so question 1, you get 30 minutes, and there's going to be a timer. You have 25 minutes to read and work on your response. And so, I'll write this down. So, question 1, 30 minutes. The way they're breaking it down is 25 minutes to read and answer. Okay, and it'll have multiple parts to it. and then 5 minutes to submit. And that is where the preferred is to copy and paste, okay? So you're going to type it all in your Google Doc, highlight it all or copy it all, and then paste it. If you don't know how to do that, you need to make sure you practice that right now. Your question will be some sort of scenario, some sort of experiment. This question 1 is 65% of your grade. It's going to be a graph, a table. You're going to describe the process, some sort of model. You're going to identify all the different parts of the experiment, and you're going to analyze the data, and you're going to make predictions. Okay, so you're going to have multiple parts. So on your paper, your Google Doc, it'll be question 1, your name, full name, and then your ID number, okay? And then you're gonna, if it's part A, you answer, and then B, answer, and then C, answer, and then D, answer, okay? Be obvious. This is not, these are not trick questions, okay? So answer with the most obvious answer. If the graph is increasing, then you talk about why it's increasing. If it's decreasing, you got to remember the error bars. So please watch my video I did about the scientific method and have notes sitting out in front of you, because you will all get a different experiment, but the parts of experiments do not change. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're prepared for question 1. And once question 1 is over, you cannot go back to it. So that's it. Then you are going to have question 2. So you will have a complete separate document, okay? Because once you submit question 1, that document is done. Now you'll have question 2. You'll have all the information up here, just like, and you'll already have it created. We do not need to spend time creating this document in the moment. It needs to be ready. And this is going to be some sort of scenario describing a biological phenomenon. They're going to ask you to describe the concept or the process. So it's going to be some sort of process. Okay, so you're going to have to describe it. And that's why you want to have everything out in front of you. Explain pieces and parts of it. So you're going to describe, you're going to explain, and that's why if you have not watched the video on photosynthesis and cellular respiration, that's very important. You could get something about mitosis, you could get something about meiosis, you could get something about cell signaling, you could get something about neurons. I'm going to do a video later about water potential, and I'm going to do a video about the cell parts, protein synthesis, all the different steps and phases of that. And then you're going to predict, okay? And that means they're going to give you a situation, and you're going to predict what you think would happen or wouldn't happen, or how that one factor would change the whole process. And then you're going to support or justify why. Justify your prediction. Remember, all of this, okay, the obvious answer is usually correct. You're going to know the answer. And that's why you have to be prepared. And you get 15 minutes on this one, okay? And so, hold on. And then, you get a little bit of time to submit. But you should be, let's see, 15 minutes to answer and then 5 minutes to submit. All right. You're going to have a timer on the screen. You should have all your formula sheet and everything out in front of you. And anything from the whole year can be on there. So you want to be prepared. On the College Board website for AP Bio, there are, you need to do the demo. You have not done the demo, so you are familiar with the process. Remember, they're going to ask you some questions in the beginning, so you need to be prepared for those before the test even starts. And then there is a sample types of questions. They're giving you a data table, and then they have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, you need to be prepared for that. Please go to College Board. Go to AP Classroom and look at sample 2020 exam. All right, so they're asking you describe the cause of the substitution, explain the substitution, identify the dependent variable, identify the control, justify why they did this, describe what would happen if this happened. So you need to look at the way they're asking things. The second one, let's see, describe and explain a process. So you may have to explain the process of condensation reaction or enzymes affecting a reaction in a paragraph. Okay, remember you're writing in complete sentences, but that's it. Okay, it's complete sentences. And if you have the chance, do the spell check. But that's not as important as the content. Okay, so you need to be prepared for that part. Another thing is your verbs. A lot of you did copy down your verb sheet, but some of you did not copy down your verb sheet. So your verb sheet has what all the words mean and what they're asking for. This is on Google Classroom for you. Analyze, break it into parts and tell about the parts. Claim, compare, contrast. You need to either write this out or print this out. So if they say justify, justify means give a good reason for something. Show why it's right. Identify, name, list, or give an example. Explain, tell how to do or give the meaning of or give the reason for. Evidence, use data from the scientific investigation. Okay, that's important. If they ask for evidence, you say based on the table, based on the graph, based on the experimental evidence. Evaluate, judge it, tell the good and the bad. Okay, so evaluate, you can tell what's wrong with it. Like that was bad, that was good. But just, these things need to be ready out in front of you. All of your notes need to be there. You need to have your book. All right, so you need to have your whole, I put on Google Classroom, I put a checklist. Okay, make sure you have all of that stuff. It talks about your computer being plugged in, charged up, your cell phone. So this is your computer, your notes. Another student said, have everyone in the house not using, the internet. Okay? No internet use by anybody else so that you have all the bandwidth. Okay? That includes Netflix, cell phones, all that kind of stuff. You want to have everybody in the house off of that so you are the only one using the Wi-Fi. And then you want to not panic about the email, but if you don't get the email, you go to College Board, but you want to already have your 2 documents created. Okay? That is so important. I do not want to hear somebody go, oh, I couldn't get the documents created. I was panicking, whatever. That should already have been done. Okay? And let's see. Is there anything else I need for you to have? Good. So it says the browser recommended is Chrome or Safari. And if you have accommodations, you're going to get the extra time. But you just need to know how to copy and paste, and you need to know how to open tabs and be able to do 2 questions at once and all that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. Good luck, and we'll have a Zoom so you can ask me any questions. But that's the biggest deal.